Hey everyone, welcome back. It's time for another edition of the Pick Six. Welcome into TCO Studios. Let's get to work and answer your questions. The first one comes from Curtis in Easton, Pennsylvania. I know Kyle Sloter has played mostly against 2s and 3s and that Sean Mannion is a veteran, but I think Sloter looks the part in a Kubiak offense. Yeah, Kyle Sloter definitely has had some positive moments these last 2 preseasons for the Vikings, and he's looked really good this summer. Now, head coach Mike Zimmer did have some commentary for Sloter earlier this week. He said there are some other aspects of the game beyond playing on game day that Kyle needs to get better at. Typical for a young quarterback. So I'm excited to see Sloter continue to develop in this offense. I agree this offense suits him well, but I'm also excited about what Sean Mannion can provide this offense as the backup quarterback to Kirk Cousins. Next question comes from Nate. What do coaches weigh more heavily when assessing players? Performance in preseason games or in training camp practices? Skol. Well, Nate, I think the way Coach Zimmer feels about Kyle Sloter is an indication that what you do in practices matters a lot. Coaches are addicted to reliability. They want to know that you can make the routine plays routinely. Once you demonstrate that in practice, then you're going to start playing in games. And if you can be a star in the games, you'll keep playing. A really good example is Stefon Diggs, who was good in practice, earned the trust of the coaches in his rookie season, got put into a game in Denver, played really well, and he's never looked back since. So both are very important, but the first thing is you got to perform well in practices. Next question comes from Anastasio in Pueblo, Colorado. Do you think a Diggs-Thielen duo could be the next Moss-Carter duo? Well, I'm excited about Diggs and Thielen, no question about that, but Moss and Carter are in the Hall of Fame. So we can be excited about our guys right now, but let's not disrespect what Randy Moss and Chris Carter were able to do over long careers with the Minnesota Vikings. They're in Canton right now. Diggs and Thielen, though, yeah, I'm really excited about them. And here's the great thing about Diggs and Thielen. They are both versatile receivers. They can both line up out wide. They can both line up in the slot. So Kevin Stefanski can get really creative with these two guys. And perhaps most importantly, these two guys are both really good route runners. They know how to create separation. They know how to get open. They can make contested catches, and they're both explosive players. So I'm excited for them in 2019. Next question comes from Carter in Flagstaff, Arizona. How do you think Trey Waynes is doing this offseason? Yeah, it's interesting. Trey always seems to fly under the radar on a defense that is full of household names like Anthony Barr and Everson Griffin, Harrison Smith, Xavier Rhodes, but Trey Waynes is every bit as important to the defensive equation. He's really good as a run defender, is not afraid to stick his nose in the run game, so I really like that about him, and he's also really fast. He can handle the other team's fastest receiver on a regular basis. He's had a very good training camp, he's having a good preseason, and I'm excited to see what he does against the Arizona Cardinals on Saturday. Next question comes from William in Tallahassee, Florida. Will Dalvin Cook play this preseason? I don't know. He hasn't played yet. I don't know if he's going to play in preseason game number 3 against the Arizona Cardinals, but he has been practicing, and he's looked really good in practices. And look how good the Vikings rushing attack has been in the preseason against New Orleans and Seattle. That was without Dalvin Cook. So put Dalvin into the equation, and I think we're onto something with this rushing attack. You have to be happy with how the draft pick, Alexander Mattison, has looked, and you also have to be happy with how an undrafted player from 2 preseasons ago has looked. Mike Boone, look at him right there. He's shaking on defenders. He's had a really productive preseason. A 64-yard touchdown in New Orleans, a 46-yard reception against Seattle. I love our running back room. Next question comes from Jeff. Here's a softball question, slow and belt high. Ooh, I like those. What's the question fans aren't asking that we should be? Skull. I like it, Jeff. Well, here's one. How about linebacker depth? The Vikings, remember how I said I like our running back room? I also really like the linebacker room. Yeah, we have Barr and Kendricks. Everyone knows about them. They're the starters. They play well every single snap. But the Vikings have some good linebackers behind those guys. A guy like Eric Wilson, who started for both Barr and Kendricks in recent seasons when those two guys have been injured. Kentrell Brothers, also very good. We have a draft pick, Cameron Smith, who's had a pretty good training camp. I like Rashard Clyett. He knows how to make plays on both defense and special teams. So I think a big question as we get closer and closer to roster cuts is which linebackers after Barr and Kendricks are going to make this team. Could we keep 6 or 7? That's a lot of linebackers to keep, but we have enough good ones to make it happen. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Pick Six. Thanks as always for sending in your questions. We hope you continue to do so using the email address at the bottom of the screen. We'll be back next week with another edition. In the meantime, make sure you click around the website, check out all of our content, and watch preseason game number 3 Saturday at noon from US Bank Stadium.